Let's talk about the alien mind. What if I told you the most alien intelligence we've ever encountered isn't from some distant star, but from right here, in the depths of our own planet?
When you hear that question, you probably picture something from a sci-fi flick, right? But the truth is, the most alien intelligence we've ever met isn't out there in the cosmos. It's right here, in our oceans.
Meet the octopus. This creature is so profoundly different from us, it's basically a second, completely independent genesis of consciousness right here on Earth. So let's dive in. To really get a grip on just how alien this creature is, we need to rewind the clock, way, way back, to see just how long ago its evolutionary journey split off from our own.
It's why scientists pretty much agree that the octopus is our best model for what actual extraterrestrial intelligence might be like. It's a true second genesis of a mind.
Okay, check out this timeline, because this is just wild. Our family trees split apart 600 million years ago. The last thing we had in common was, get this, a simple little flatworm. And since then, complex intelligence has popped up twice on Earth, completely on its own. One path led to vertebrates, us, apes, dolphins, the whole crew. And the other? It led to cephalopods, like the octopus. And that completely separate evolutionary road trip, well, it created a biological blueprint that is just unlike anything else we know. It resulted in a creature whose very body is its mind.
So an octopus has about 500 million neurons. To put that in perspective, that's roughly the same number as a dog. Pretty smart, right? But here's where it gets really weird. Only about a third of those neurons are actually located in its central brain. So, where's the rest of that brain power hiding?
Yep, the other 2/3, they're in its arms. This isn't a single brain controlling 8 puppets. It's more like 9 brains working in concert, a CEO in the head, and 8 brilliant, semi-independent managers running each arm. This whole setup is called distributed intelligence. Each arm can basically think for itself. It can taste, it can smell, it can make decisions, all without having to phone home to the main brain. In fact, and this is mind-blowing, a severed octopus arm can still react to things for up to an hour. It's a true network of minds. But hold on a second, this incredibly intelligent creature, it has no bones, no shell, not a single piece of armor. It's basically a soft, squishy meal swimming in an ocean full of predators. So how in the world does it survive? Simple. It just vanishes. Its ability to disappear is nothing short of a biological masterpiece. It's a 3-part system. First, you've got these tiny pigment sacs called chromatophores that it can expand or shrink in an instant. Underneath those, reflective structures create shimmering blues and greens. And then the final touch? These things called papillae let it change the texture of its skin so it can look like a smooth rock one second and a lumpy piece of coral the next. And the speed is just insane. Think about a chameleon. It changes color using hormones, right? That can take over 20 seconds. The octopus? It uses its nervous system, directly controlling the muscles. The result? It can completely transform in 200 milliseconds. That is literally as fast as you can blink. But here's the paradox that stumped scientists for ages. The octopus is an absolute master of matching color, and yet its eyes are completely colorblind. So, how does it know what color to be? How is that even possible? Well, the answer, which we only figured out pretty recently, is almost too weird to believe. The octopus doesn't just see with its eyes. It sees with its skin. Its skin is packed with the exact same light-sensitive proteins that are in its eyes. This lets the skin literally sense the light around it and react, sometimes without the brain even being involved. Think about that for a second. So you've got this unbelievable biology, right? But it didn't just appear out of nowhere. It was forged in the fires of constant life or death danger. Go back about 140 million years. The octopus's ancestors made a terrifying evolutionary gamble. They ditched their shell. They traded safety and simplicity for freedom and flexibility. But of course, that also made them one of the most vulnerable creatures in the sea. And that's the key. When you're basically a walking piece of calamari in an ocean full of things that want to eat you, you have to be smart. You have to be clever. You have to be sneaky. That extreme vulnerability became the ultimate catalyst for extreme intelligence. It's the pressure that likely created that big, complex brain. But the way the octopus got so smart throws a huge wrench in our most popular theories about intelligence. It really challenges everything we thought we knew about how a species gets smart in the first place.
See, for a long time, the main idea, called the social intelligence hypothesis, was that big brains evolved because of social living. You know, dealing with others in a complex group, cooperating, competing, communicating, all that stuff is what makes you smart. And it makes sense for us, for primates, for dolphins.
And then you have the octopus. It's brilliant, no question, but it's almost completely solitary. It doesn't hang out in big groups. It doesn't really cooperate. It's a lonely genius. And its very existence basically breaks that rule and forces us to rethink everything. And we have so much evidence for just how smart they are. We've seen them carry around coconut shells to use as a shelter later. That's planning and tool use. They can solve puzzles, like unscrewing a jar from the inside to get food. They've even been seen doing what looks like playing, just pushing a bottle into a current over and over again. And get this, they can recognize individual humans and treat them differently. So what are we left with? We have this solitary, soft-bodied, colorblind genius that breaks all the rules. What's the big takeaway from studying this second genesis of mind? Well, for one thing, it tells us that intelligence isn't a ladder, with humans sitting smugly at the top. That's just a really arrogant and, frankly, wrong way to look at the world. The reality is so much more incredible. Intelligence is more like a huge branching tree with endless possible forms. Evolution can take countless different paths to create a thinking, problem-solving mind. Our type of intelligence, born from social life on the savannah, is just one branch. The octopus's mind, born from lonely vulnerability in the ocean depths, is a completely different, equally valid branch on that tree. And that leaves us with one last, really profound question. If life on just this one planet can independently cook up two minds as wildly different as ours and the octopus's, can you even begin to imagine what else might be waiting for us out there in the void?